Hi, this is Bob Umlas. In this video I'm going to show you how to create a table of contents for your workbooks if you want, the ones that probably have lots of worksheets. I'm going to do it in two ways. One is by using some dynamic arrays and some old Excel 4 references, as well as doing it again in VBA. I like this dynamic arrays one. I kind of came up with it just last week. Okay, so this workbook has lots of tabs in it. And in fact, if I right mouse click here, you'll see all these tabs. It goes on and on and on. So let's go back to the beginning. TOC stands for Table of Contents. And I have a couple of range names that I want to talk to you about. The first one is called vanilla. Vanilla is defined as equals get.workbook sub 1, which is an old reference to a reference to an old style workbook called Excel 4. This is an Excel 4 macro command, and what it does, if I just do equals vanilla and hit enter, I get, or what the hell what that is. But in fact, if I transpose it instead, so I can see it vertically, what we see is all the sheets. Each one of them is preceded by the name of the workbook, master TNT.xlsm, but aside from that, it's the sheet. So 39% is the next tab. Page setup copies is the next tab, and so on, and this goes all the way. So the table of contents that I want to create is not just this. Even though it is a table of contents, I want to make it useful, and I'm going to wind up showing you how to make a hyperlinked version so you can actually use it. So I want to explain the get workbook 1, which you also see in these two range names, sheets and sheets sorted. So first let me see what happens when I just click on sheets. Let's get rid of this. If I do equals sheets, actually I'm going to get this out of the way. This is a cut and paste by dragging the border. If I get rid of the X equals and just do equals sheets, I in fact have a hyperlink formula. These aren't hyperlinks. They don't do anything. But they could if I copy paste special values. Let's do that first. I like to drag away with the border, right mouse click, and drag right back, which gives me this option. Copies here as values only. However, they're still not hyperlinks. What I need to do is replace all the equals with equals, which has the same effect as re-entering them. So Control H, replace equals with equals, replace all, made 55 replacements, and here it is. These are hyperlinks. You can tell by the hand cursor. So if I go to all chars in the font, it takes me to that tab. Now, from this tab, many people I've discovered do not know how to get back without scrolling back, but it's like you're in a web page, and Alt left arrow will bring you back. So this is a really cool way of having it, except I don't know if I want master TNT.xlsm on every one of these. Alt left arrow. So before I continue with that, I want to show you the sheets sorted. But let's look at this formula. Sheets is equal to a quoted string hyperlink of quote, quote, quote. So it's giving me the quote in there. You see that single quote here? That's the equals hyperlink, and the two quotes in a row gives me that quote. The other one ends the hyperlink. And I'm putting in there, I'm transposing the substitute of get workbook 1, which you remember is everything that we saw before, but I'm changing the right bracket to a right bracket and a single quote. So you see the right bracket here has a single quote in it. Now TOC doesn't need it, but this one does need it, page setup copies, because it has a space in it, or special characters would need that. So I'm putting the, remember if I just equal vanilla, oops, sorry, transpose vanilla, then this wouldn't work if I wound up setting it up as a hyperlink, because I would need to have that in quotes. Okay, so let's get rid of that. So this works fine. And the single quote exclamation A1, so all these hyperlinks work. Sheet sorted is the same thing, but I stuck in here a sort command. So I surrounded an extra parenthesis, sort all that. And if I just do equal, let's get rid of all that. And if I do, let's bring this over here, take off the X, sheet sorted. Again, I have to do the same thing. I have to copy, paste special values, drag away, drag back, and then replace equals with equals. And now I have the sheets in sequence. Now, another thing I can do is I'm going to take that master TNT and I'm going to drag across it in here to copy it. I'm not including the, I'm just including the open bracket and the left bracket. So I'm doing Control-C to copy. And one more thing I'm doing is I'm doing a replace. And I'm replacing the name of that with a pound sign. I'm sorry, replace all. These still work, but it's a lot easier to read. Cut, copy, insert, paste. There it is. Control back arrow. I'm sorry, Alt back arrow, and I'm back. So I think you'll find this very helpful on worksheets that have lots of tabs. And you might even want to do both the sequence and sorted. I also now want to show you a way you can do this using VBA. It's not quite the same, but let's go to write some VBA code. So I'm going to insert a module, and I'm going to do sub tabs, and I'll do for I equals 1 to worksheets.count. Next, and I'll have cells. Notice I'm starting on effectively a blank sheet. I need column A blank. Cells I, comma 1, dot value equals, I should respell worksheets correctly, equals worksheets I dot name. And if I run that, there it is, including the table of contents. Now these are not any kind of hyperlink, but what I could also do is right mouse click on the table of contents, do view code, and in here I'll do worksheet selection change. And I can say on error, resume next. Spell it right. Because I don't want to go to a tab that doesn't exist, which might happen if I click on a blank cell. So I'm going to just say sheets target dot value dot select. So if I click on this, I'm on that tab. Now Alt back arrow doesn't, wait a minute, don't make me wrong. Alt back arrow, oh, it does work. I thought I tried it before and it didn't work. Okay, so if I click on here, there is no sheet named vanilla. The on error resume next is what's working. This is not sorted, but I can easily click on the whole thing and just go to the data tab and sort. And now it's sorted and it all works. Custom list, there it is. Alt left arrow. Now Alt left arrow doesn't work. Okay, I didn't think I was crazy. But from here, if I just do F5 enter without looking, it takes me back. Oh, it takes me back to the last one I was at. Okay, control left arrow, I'm sorry, control click on the left arrow takes me to the beginning. So it's a little more difficult to get back to the table of contents than it is just to Alt left arrow if it was from a hyperlink. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this section and this video and make good use of it. Okay, bye.